This is my audience. Do you ever drive by an accident and want to know every detail about it, such as why it happened, how it happened, or if anyone was involved? Having a little fun while driving can result in serious accidents. This is why there are rules on driving to avoid accidents like mine. I was in a rolled accident of my own with a family member because of this reason. Today I'm going to talk about how I was in an accident and how it could have easily been avoided. I was coming home from cheer one night and my dad picked me up at the cheer gym. He then asked me if I wanted to drive around for a little bit and listen to music, so I agreed. We drove around and these new houses were being built in a duplex, and so we drove around to look at the new houses. We then finally decided to head home, and as we pulled up to the stop sign right outside of our house, instead of going straight, we turned left because of the song that we really enjoyed. It was one of our favorite songs, came on, and we wanted to listen to it longer. We turned right and went and took the long way home, and as we are rounding another corner to go home, my dad then proceeds to ask me how fast he thinks we can go. So I get out my phone and I start recording a video, and he is stepping on the gas pedal and climbing, and we reach up to almost 96 miles per hour, and he doesn't brake fast enough. So we are turning the corner and he's trying to brake, but he was on the gas for too long, so we hit the corner around 60 miles an hour. We go up on the curb and roll 3 or 4 times into this field. As we're rolling, our favorite song is still continuing to play in the background, and I'm closing my eyes, just praying nothing happens to either of us. When we land, the truck lands on my side, and I'm on the ground, and my dad's up in the air, and I'm stuck in my seatbelt, and my dad finally gets out of his seatbelt. He's searching for a way out and trying to open the door that's facing the sky. I'm sitting there still trying to get out of my seatbelt. I finally get my seatbelt undone, and we're sitting there stepping on all the things that were in the truck, the groceries, the glass, the window airbags, all the things that were in his center console, and we're searching for a way out of the truck. I then hear a voice in the back window, and my dad's truck had a whole back window that rolled down, and the entire glass shattered. So we then climb out of that window, and there's a man standing out there who had been at the hotel right across the field who had seen it happen. So at that point, we didn't know what to do. My dad and this guy tried pushing over the truck, and I was standing there in the grass, laying down, just wondering what was going to happen. And then my dad picks me up and we walk home, which was only like a couple hundred feet away from the incident. We get home and I run inside and I tell my mom everything about the accident, and she holds me in her arms, and then I decide that I wanted to go over and tell my grandma and grandpa about it. So we walk over across the street because they happen to live across the street from us, and I run up to their door, pounding, banging, crying, screaming, and begging them to let me in the door. My grandma opens it with fear all over her face, and we begin to tell them what happened. My dad goes back to the accident, and I stay at my grandma and grandpa's house with my mom and everyone else. And my dad talks to the cops and everything, and then they come find me at my grandma and grandpa's house. They begin to ask me and my dad questions the whole night, and they asked me if I was okay. I had to go into the bathroom and make sure that I wasn't hurt in any sort of way. My dad was completely fine. The only thing I had was a popped blood vessel on my finger, and I was still completely shooken up from the accident and was shaking, didn't want to move or anything. I then remembered that I recorded a video, so we got on my mom's phone and I found the video that was saved. And then we finally, after all this has happened, we come home and all the fire alarms in our house are going off. This was like a life learning lesson, and me and my dad both learned from this experience. Overall, I was in shock the whole night because of an accident that could have easily been avoided. If we would have not messed around while driving and just taken driving seriously, none of this would have happened. Don't make the same mistake we did and avoid accidents like ours. Never test your limits while driving.